Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. I told you we care. We always do. Every single morning we care about you. But specifically this morning, we're chatting with lifestyle and wellness coach Rhonda Isaac because the We Care campaign series is coming up. But before we get into that, good morning, Rhonda. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And yourself?
Alive and grateful to be here.
That is fantastic.
What does a lifestyle and wellness coach do?
Basically, help to guide persons in terms of their health, their wellness, even sometimes financial, depending on what advice persons may need.
Mm-hmm.
So, along with being a lifestyle and wellness coach, I'm also a health consultant.
Right.
Understanding that the human body needs nutrition to repair. So, if we understand that the things we eat, how we eat, all of these things affect our health, then we need to understand what we need to do to implement. Because again, it's not about just a one-time doing, it's a lifestyle. And this is where you have lifestyle diseases that come in.
Rhonda, does that mean we all need to become vegans? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I
just had to
didn't say
make
that.
sure we clear
I
that
didn't
up.
say that
now.
at all.
All right.
I wonder why.
I just making sure. All right, so I want to get more into the mental illness and mental health conversation because of
Yes.
course what you eat also affects your mental health, I assume.
Yes.
What exactly is mental wellness?
Well, mental wellness basically encompasses everything. They do have a wellness wheel, and it will basically encompass your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your social, everything. So we would have seen over the pandemic that basically everything was cut out. We weren't able to socialize, we weren't able to get out and do everyday activities. We were locked down, we were restrained, and you'd also have financial things that come up. So you would be locked down in many different forms. And this would have affected persons in many different ways. Some people started developing anxiety, depression, all of these different things were played upon because of what came out of pandemic. And this is where they are saying now that mental wellness is the next pandemic. We have to be aware of what is happening. You see, in times gone by, we would have had it that it's a taboo. People talk about mental wellness as, oh, he's a mad person, but it's not that.
Yeah.
You're talking about serious illnesses across the board, even with our children. We have children who have ADHD who right now are basically withheld. Some of them, the younger ones, didn't know what it is to interact with the classroom because they were forced into online school. The ones who are accustomed interacting with the classroom was now forced into online school, so it was being withdrawn from what they are accustomed doing, and the getting back into that interaction is now affecting everyone, adults as well as children. And you find that with the adults, however, a lot of the times they don't know how to deal with it, they don't know how to express it. It turns into anger. You find that they take it out on their children. You have a lot of things that is happening because of it. And this is part of why we are launching this campaign to raise awareness across the country. And in the campaign, we would be educating persons of things that they can do to now help balance that.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned one of the illnesses in terms of how it will affect children, but what will it look like in an adult? So, for example, as we talk about mental health and the scope of mental health, what particular diseases are we looking at for adults under that scope?
Well, you have different things. So some people become withdrawn. That is sometimes one of your first symptoms because we've been forced into staying at home. So some people no longer want to interact. They don't want to socialize. You have things as anxiety, depression, and I can tell you because personally, I'm an outdoor person. I like being outdoor. I like to interact. I like going to little parties because it brings a different mood because all of these things affect how we feel. And even from the pandemic, you would find that I realized that sometimes you get this kind of anxious feeling, like you're getting a pit in your stomach and you're not sure what it is, and you're off balance. It brings an off balance. So sometimes that's the basic things, people being withdrawn. You have things such as anxiety, some things as depression. Some of these things are what causing suicide, some people lashing out. So you have more domestic violence and abuse coming out of it. You know, it's a repercussion of different things. In the more advanced stages, you have things like schizophrenia and all of these things, which is what people have so taboo. But understand it doesn't start there. It's an advancement. And the CDC and other companies have already highlighted the need to be able to raise that awareness so people could look out for it, people could know what is happening, and they can basically identify it.
Right. I'm curious as to what separates you knowing that this is somebody suffering from depression or anxiety versus somebody who's just in a mood. What controls your mood?
What controls your mood? What controls your mood will basically mainly stem from your levels of serotonin and dopamine in the body.
Right.
And even your cortisol level, because your cortisol level is a stress hormone.
Right.
And
how you just get that one down? Like, how you just take that level down? Like, you have a button for that? Or?
I think you need to attend our seminar because we'll be giving a lot of information on that, how you can balance it,
right,
and how you can really bring that balance overall. But definitely there are ways to bring down your cortisol level to be able to cope, because that's one of the things we need to know, how to cope with that everyday stress, right? And increasing your serotonin and your dopamine, which is your happy hormones,
right,
would also play a very big part in that.
What are some things that increase your serotonin level? I know dopamine fairly easy to get. You can take a run and get some dopamine.
Well, that's the whole thing, because again, you have many different methods. You have being able to get out there and interact, as I was saying. Sometimes a hug could actually help increase that.
Your serotonin?
Yes, your serotonin and dopamine.
Okay.
As well as there's nutritional stuff that you can use to help raise that, because there are different studies. Mainly, you're talking about, there are studies on the gut-brain axis. How what is happening in our gut affects our brain. Again, our nutrition. What it is we consume.
Your heart is through your belly. I understand
Definitely.
exactly what you're saying.
So as I said, we would be giving more in-depth information at our seminars, and this is where we're inviting persons to really come out.
When is it happening and where is it happening?
Well, right now we have 3 that are scheduled. So we have the first one being Sunday coming. It's going to be at the St. Joseph Community Center at 4 p.m. We have Belmont Community Center at 5 p.m.
That's the following day? No, that's
That is
Tuesday.
on the 4th.
Right.
Right? And then on the 8th, we're going to be down at Fyzabad Regional Community Center Complex. And that is also going to be at 5 p.m. But we would be having other series. These are the ones we have scheduled right now as we launch out. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cover some of the areas like Chaguanas and San Fernando because of, again, COVID. COVID has affected a lot of things. So some of the facilities we are usually able to access, they now have to do repairs.
Yeah.
So, you know, again, just the same way COVID affected physical buildings, it affected persons. And this is where we are now reaching out, launching the campaign, as well as we are offering free wellness assessments. So persons can get a virtual assessment. They can take the numbers, get a virtual assessment. So even if they don't want to come interact with persons, they fill it out, and then we can now follow up and give them the advice, what they need to do to start bringing up their serotonin and dopamine, increasing how they feel, and in that case, be able to now cope better with everyday life.
Rhonda, I have a question. So we are talking about health and wellness, and it seems as if you are going down the natural track in terms of getting people to feel better. But how will that work with somebody who is medicated or somebody who went to their doctor to get certain prescribed medication to help them with whatever stress they're getting, whether it be anxiety or something else?
Well, one of the things with being medicated is that natural supplements don't really affect it. Natural supplements is giving your body the missing nutrition. So basically, it's like putting in extra food. But you're talking about the nutrition that is going to directly relate to what it is you're dealing with.
So if somebody comes to the seminar and, for example, they have been prescribed pills for anxiety, is it that you're going to tell them they shouldn't take it, or is it that you're going to find a way
No,
to tell
we
me?
don't ever tell persons they shouldn't take their medication.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about natural supplements. So for instance, there's a supplement that is formulated using saffron. Would you tell somebody don't use saffron? No, saffron is natural. And it can be used with your medication. It doesn't affect your medication.
Right.
However, you should consult your doctor or know the benefits of it, because saffron can also thin your blood. So you don't want to end up having that adverse effect. So again, it's a balance. Everything in life is about balance.
Nice.
Well, Rhonda, thank you for coming this morning and for sharing a little bit about it. And I hope that people are able to attend the We Care campaign to be able to take part and find out more about, you know, raising the physical and mental wellness within using natural remedies.
And I would like to share, if persons want to be able to get that free assessment, they can send a text message or WhatsApp to 742-0488. And as I said, it's virtual because, again, COVID forced us all into online.
Yeah.
So we have made things in such a way that you don't have to be there.
Right.
You can get it, get the assessment, get an idea of what is happening. And it's always good to know, because being able to know, identify, even in creating the campaign, I would have sent it out to some persons, and I have persons reaching out to me who's identified things in families and persons who personally identify with it and is able to say, okay, I think I need the help.
Yeah.
So people have been suffering in silence, and this is part of what we are doing.
And
we are reaching out. Now, we also have it open that community, churches, businesses, they can reach out to us and we will come to them.
So anybody who's interested, you can reach out. The number is 742-0488. You can give them a call, give them a text message or WhatsApp, and you can get the information. You get a virtual assessment as well. Raising physical and mental wellness awareness. The We Care campaign series is on. Check them out for more information. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for joining us.
Thank you very much
We'll
for
take a
having
quick
me.
break and come back with more. Stay tuned.